Almost as essential as platformers are to the Nintendo ecosystem, first-party sports titles have become equally integral. Although they don't nearly get the same sales levels as other first-party titles, they do get critical acclaim and they definitely get cult status. As we are now counting down the days before the successor to the Switch gets released, let's take a look at all the entries and figure out which Nintendo Switch sports titles are worth your time. Before we get into our rankings, we just wanted to take a quick second to talk about our 2024 goals as an outlet. There are plenty of little goals, but our main goal is to hit 15,000 subs, and you can help with that. If you enjoy what we're doing, consider subscribing, liking the video, or sharing with a friend that you think might enjoy this. Any or all of these will make a big difference in the algorithm. If you're unfamiliar, we're trying to cultivate a positive environment without toxicity, which is evident in our content that always takes a glass half full approach. As a fan of the original Mario Golf back on the Nintendo 64 and a huge fan of the Hot Shots Golf series dating back to the original PlayStation, expectations were high when Nintendo brought back the series after a 7-year hiatus. Camelot, the team behind the original Hot Shots Golf in 1997 and every Mario Golf game since 1999, were still leading development, but something just never felt right with Mario Golf Super Rush. The courses felt generic and lacked proper commitment in either direction. They blended serious courses with Mario elements, which felt like a jack of all trades and a master of none. The adventure mode felt tedious and uninspired, and the big selling point, Super Rush or Speed Golf, just wasn't that interesting. Most importantly, the core gameplay just never felt fun. The line is ultra thin between adding in some exaggerated moves like power spin and by going too far by adding in ground freezing. Instead of enhancing, the special moves detracted from the experience in Mario Golf Super Rush. In terms of presentation, Mario Strikers Battle League is the best on the list, but that shouldn't come as a surprise as Next Level Games, the once independent studio that was acquired by Nintendo after Luigi's Mansion 3, are the team behind Battle League. The biggest downside for me is right in the title, Battle League. Mario Strikers is targeted towards the online player. Mario Strikers is lacking a major single player component, which is too bad because the mechanics, style, and presentation of this game are probably the best on the list. There is no reason that Battle League shouldn't have had more characters. As for the gameplay itself, it's a 4v4 arcade soccer that feels closer to Blitz than it does to FIFA, but there is a level of strategy in the game with items that can change the tide, as well as super shots. It's also a must to mention the comic-style cutscenes when you finally manage to pull off a special move. If you prefer to play online or play locally with friends, Mario Strikers Battle League is a lot of fun. Switch Sports is a good game, but the biggest issue is that it could have been so much better. It might be hard to believe, but Switch Sports could have given Wii Sports Resort a run for the money in the sales department. It was never going to compete with nearly 83 million sales of Wii Sports, but that's due to it being bundled in with the Wii. But Wii Sports Resort sold 33 million. Switch Sports currently has about 16 million in sales, and that was only launching with 6 sports. 2 of these sports also shouldn't really count, having tennis and badminton feel redundant, and soccer didn't emulate the real experience without the leg strap. Putting on the leg strap also did work counter to the whole experience of Switch Sports, which was that it was easy to pick up and play. It didn't require additional wires, sensors, or candles. All you needed was a couple of Joy-Cons and wrist straps to protect your TV. Switch Sports eventually added golf, which, like the rest of the activities, played very well, but it just wasn't enough to take Switch Sports from a good game to a must-buy. The addition of Sportsmates was fine, and adding in cosmetics was a good reason to keep playing, but it would have been nice if these items weren't limited time and were also somehow tied into your single-player progression instead of your online. Meet the player where they want to be. With a few more sports and a little more depth for the single-player offline mode, Switch Sports could have been truly something special. Outside of the fact that Ring Fit Adventure seemed to enjoy a slight quarantine boost as it released in October of 2019, this shouldn't take anything away that this is another great entry in peripheral-based Nintendo sports titles. Not counting the Wii Sports series, I think Ring Fit Adventure is the best exercise-centric Nintendo game ever. Ring Fit Adventure was basically a combination of an RPG and Wii Fit, but a lot more fun and a lot less of a nuisance to set up. About the only downside that I can think of with Ring Fit Adventure was that it didn't overly stop you from selecting attacks or exercises that you are more comfortable with. Some enemies have weaknesses to certain attacks, and sometimes the exercises that do the most damage are some of the easier ones. It would have been nice if Ring Fit Adventure somehow accounted for exercises that you have already done in each session, The other issue was that when you first start out Ring Fit Adventure, you don't have access to all of the exercises, and this leads to some leg-heavy sessions at the start, which can feel a little repetitious. One of the keys to exercise is to push you outside of your comfort zone a little, and trying to force you into a more balanced workout would have been a nice touch. Mario Tennis Aces has it all. It's super quick to pick up and play. It has plenty of modes, including a fun single-player adventure mode, local co-op, tournaments, and online play. However, the most important thing about Mario Tennis Aces is that the gameplay features the perfect balance of easy to play, but hard to master. The best way to figure out which sports game is the best is to strip away all of the bells and whistles and find out which game had the best core experience. You can have lots of fun just hitting the ball back and forth with one button, but you can also master the slice, topspin, lob shot, and then there is the special moves that add to the experience as opposed to take away from it. It's hard to believe that Mario Tennis Aces was also developed by Camelot, who also did Mario Golf Super Rush, because so many of the things that they got right in Mario Tennis Aces were fumbled in Super Rush. The adventure mode was fun, there are plenty of characters to choose from, and the special sauce elevated the core experience instead of deviated from it. Until next time, remember to be nice to your fellow gamer, but more importantly, be nice to your fellow human.